Hello and welcome to my February TBR. This video is going to be all about the books that I plan on reading in the month of February. And if you hear any tippy taps in the background, that's because I've locked Yzma in the room with me and she is up to no good. She will get into anything and everything while I film this because I'm not paying attention to her. Without further ado, let's get into it. So Ashley, Danielle, and I had talked about our book club, and we realized that our lives are really busy, so it's hard to read a different book every month. Because of that, we have decided to go to quarterly books instead, which is why there was nothing in January. There will be nothing in February, but we will be reading the same book in March. So we have not figured that out, but this video is about February, so no February book club. The first thing that I plan on reading this month is at least one Freida McFadden book. I have a selection in front of me, two of which I got from Brandon's mom to read, so I need to finish these to get them back to her. And the third one, Danielle actually got me for Christmas, so I really want to read this one as well. I very much so like to go into Freida McFadden books blind, so sorry I can't really tell you much about any of them. I can tell you that Danielle got me Ward D, and then I borrowed The Tenant and Do Not Disturb from Brandon's mom. So here's the actual descriptions of these books. Next, because it is February and there's a lot of romancy stuff that happens throughout the month, I do know that I want to read at least a couple of romances. And I figure for this video, I'll grab my collection of Nicholas Sparks books because I think I'll be able to get through at least one of these this month. I don't think I've read any of them, but they've been on my shelves for years. The first one I have is The Lucky One. This book is about a U.S. Marine named Logan who finds a photograph of a smiling young woman during his tour of duty in Iraq. This photograph ends up giving him a lucky streak. When he gets back stateside, he wants to find this woman because he can't get her out of his head, wants to figure out what her story is, and it leads him to Elizabeth, a divorced mother in North Carolina with a young son. He keeps his luck a secret, and this is all about them falling in love with each other. The next one is Dear John. If you have heard of Nicholas Sparks, chances are you've heard of this movie. So it's about Dear John letters and this man/boy who signs up for the military right out of high school before meeting the love of his life, Savannah. Savannah sends him Dear John letters and is willing to wait for him. So this is their love story. The next book is The Choice. It's about a boy, Travis, who has everything he could want, a good job, loyal friends, a waterfront home, and he thinks that being in a relationship would cramp his style until Gabby Holland moves in next door. Basically, this book is all about how far would you go to keep the hope of love alive. The next one is A Bend in the Road. This is about Deputy Sheriff Miles Ryan as his life comes to a screeching halt when his wife is killed in a hit and run. Miles then meets Sarah Andrews, his son Jonah's second grade teacher, while he's trying to figure out who killed his wife, and they start falling in love. However, a twist of fate has them being connected in a way that forces them to re-examine everything they believe in, including their love. The last Nicholas Sparks book that I plan on choosing from this month is At First Sight. Jeremy Marsh was sure he would never leave New York, never give his heart away after barely surviving one failed marriage, and never become a parent. But this book challenges all of that with one mysterious email. A chain of events is set off that will test the strength of Jeremy and his new love, Lexi's, commitment to each other. So this is all about a second chance romance, and it should be fun. This year, one of the things I want to do is get through as many of the physical books on my shelves as I possibly can, because I have been very bad at buying books and not reading the ones I own. So because of that, I have pulled a random book off my shelf for this month, and that is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book is about a woman named Nora Seed when she finds herself in the Midnight Library. This is a library that's between life and death, and it allows Nora to go back and kind of make the quote-unquote right choices in her life to try to live the perfect life, but her choices end up putting herself and the library in jeopardy. So this is a book all about that, and it has been sitting on my shelves for a number of years. I really want to get to it, so hopefully I read it in February. One of the reasons I haven't gotten to it recently or like at all is because it actually has deckled edges, which like for some people is great. I hate the feeling of deckled edges, so I got this book before I realized it. I think I ordered it online. So that's been daunting and has stopped me from reading it, but I really want to get through all of the books I own, so deckled edges, here I come. Those are all of the physical books that I plan on reading this month. However, that's not all of the books that I plan on reading this month. There are a couple of Kindle Unlimited books that I want to get to. The Bond of Hercules by... It's on the screen right now. I'm really sorry, I forget the author's name. This is awful of me. This book, my friend Rebecca has told me that she really wants me to read, so I want to get to it this month because I do want to take a little bit of a break from Kindle Unlimited just to try to focus on physical books more so than anything. So that's one of the books that I plan on getting to before I pause my subscription. So that book, which I don't know what it's all about, Rebecca has told me to read it, so that's why I'm picking it up. And here's the actual plot of the book. Also on Kindle Unlimited, I've really been enjoying books by Lola Glass. So before I finish or take a pause on Kindle Unlimited, I definitely want to pick up a couple more of her books. I have read a bunch of them in January, so keep your eye out for the January wrap up to see which books I've already read. But now I'm going to pause the screen or pause my talking and show you a couple of the books I haven't read yet but plan on reading soon. And finally, the audiobook series that I want to finish before the end of the month is the Rockton or City of the Lost series by Kelley Armstrong. I started this in January as a reread because Danielle has recently read them and I really want to talk to her about them, which means I need to refresh my mind to remember what's going on. With that said, I am currently on Watcher in the Woods, which I believe is the fourth book in the series. So I don't really want to give too many spoilers just verbally. If you want to read the description of the back of the books, you'll see them in just a minute. but basically the series is about Detective Casey Duncan, who did something when she was younger that she was worried would catch up with her when her best friend Diana needs to escape, and they hear about a town that's basically refuge for people who are escaping a bad situation. Casey decides that, yeah, she'll tag along with Diana because Diana's been through everything with her and has been her best friend for years. So Casey and Diana go to this town. Casey becomes Casey Butler because everyone has a different name just to protect their anonymity. And this is all about the chaos that ensues when a homicide detective, I think? She might have just been a detective, but I think she was a homicide detective. When a detective comes into a small town that's very hidden and is all about safety, but of course, hijinks ensue and Casey is there to help solve all of the cases. Well, thank you for spending time with me. I know that this is a pretty quick video. I don't have a lot of concrete plans for how I want the month to go. Like I said, I've got a selection of Freida McFadden books, a selection of Nicholas Sparks books, and then a couple of Kindle Unlimited books that I kind of want to sort through this month, but I don't have any concrete I must read this book plans this month. So I guess we're gonna have to see where I go with everything. Of course, any books that I don't finish in the month of January, I want to try to finish in February, as always, but my plans are very much up in the air. I figure I'll just try to go more with the flow this month, see if that works. It worked for me in January, so here's hoping that it works again in February. And as always, thank you for spending time with me. I can't wait to hear what your reading plans are for the month, and I can't wait to find out what Ashley and Danielle plan on reading as well, because my video goes out first, which means I had to record it first. But as always, happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!